Our immersion is called How to Build Anything.
I want to learn about tools and materials so I could be more helpful around the house.
I was expecting to build something fun and useful.
I never really used tools before, so I wanted to learn what I think is an important life skill.
I wanted to build something which was really awesome, which may or may not actually happen, but also to learn new skills.
Phase 1.
First, we brainstormed ideas.
The first rule of brainstorming:
There are no rules.
We thought of everything.
I wanted an interdimensional portal.
An Eiffel Tower.
The rolling, flying, swimming air ball. It rolls.
It flies.
It swims.
It's a ball.
It's the rolling, flying, swimming air ball.
Come on, an Eiffel Tower.
An automated sentry gun.
A Dwemer obstacle course.
A miniature city with floating buildings.
Like a floating Eiffel Tower?
Mr. Hayes wanted to build a camera obscura.
We pretended that it was a good idea.
The next phase, refining our options.
So it turned out that we can't build an interdimensional portal.
We had to refine our blue sky ideas into something we could realistically accomplish in 2 weeks.
So we decided on
Medieval siege equipment!
So with our broad category identified, we needed to narrow it down.
We started researching medieval siege equipment and weapons.
catapults are overrated.
Trebuchets were overdone.
But nobody does ballistas.
A ballista is a Hellenistic siege machine that resembles a giant crossbow.
It fires giant arrows called bolts.
A ballista uses rope torsion to propel the bolts.
So that led us to our next phase, design. We had 3 criteria:
It had to look badass.
effectiveness, feasibility,
And badassitude?
and yes, it had to look badass.
There were blueprints on the interwebs.
But we decided to design and build it ourselves without any prior knowledge of how it worked or how to build one.
Our first goal was to create a minimum viable product.
What's a minimum viable product?
In product development, an MVP, or minimum viable product, is a product that minimally accomplishes the task with the least amount of effort and risk.
We chose our primary materials first.
That told us which tools we needed to learn.
For cutting, the radial arm saw, the table saw, the reciprocating saw, and the handheld circular saw.
Cutting oil, plunge cutting, ripping, and cross cutting.
Drilling, drill bits, spade bits, countersinking, and pilot holes.
I found out what a 2x4 is. It's not actually 2x4.
Oak and birch are hardwoods, while pine is a softwood.
Masonite, plywood, MDF.
And the precision alignment tool.
First, we built the frame to house the torsion springs made from nylon parachute cord.
It was a long and arduous process.
The hanks held 2 oak levers with a taut nylon bowstring.
Next, we built the stock of the ballista, where the bolts would ride.
Then we test fired it.
Total and absolute failure.
After our first test failed, we entered the refinement phase.
We changed the lengths of the levers from 2 feet to 4 feet.
We created a groove on the stock for our bolts to travel in.
We used quarter-round pine trim.
We rewrapped and tightened one of our nylon hanks.
The one we called Tom.
Then, we worked on improving our bolts.
Get it? Tom Hanks?
Feathers on arrows and bolts are called fletching.
That improved the aerodynamic stability of the bolt.
It made them fly straight.
We all wanted to learn metal casting.
And by we mean Ailey, Dory, and Kobe.
So we made metal bolt heads.
We started by creating bucks from microcrystalline wax.
We made multiple bolt head designs to determine which shape would work best.
Next, we made a simple mold from plaster of Paris.
Then, using a low-temperature, bismuth tin-based prototyping alloy to cast our bolt heads.
Finally,
Success!
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 So, in the end,
We built a ballista.
It fired.
We all got the experience we wanted.
We didn't kill many small children. Any small children.
And we all bonded as a family.
with weapons.
Here comes success.